This has always tripped me out. I don't know why. I mean, I kind of do because it's kind of like I get to see into the future. And when I can see into the future, it's almost like, well, what's the point in living in the present? And even though I was talking about living in the present in the last video, you got to think about it this way. Is every moment that is ever happening to us, we're able to pick up on certain subtleties that are around us if we are attuned to that said frequency, that attuned knowing, that attuned knowledge that we might not have originally been attuned to. You can see that within Tower of God. You can see it in maybe yourself as well too, and some other animes, which if you aren't aware, this channel is dedicated to helping you improve your life, make more money, communicate better, have a more convicted, confident life, and actually go out into the world and experience things that you never experienced. So if that's something you're interested in, you can subscribe to the channel and we'll continue on with the video. So there's been certain times when I can pick up on certain tonalities, vibrations, or just a knowing that like, hey, I need to say hi to this person, or I don't need to say hi to this person, or this is the time to ask for you to do something, or this is not the time for you to ask to do something, or I'll be having a conversation and like I'll see the thing that the person was thinking about saying, or hear the thing that the person was thinking about saying, or I'll think about something and all of a sudden I'll see it on the external world. Because I was talking about it in a couple of videos, mind comes before matter. There's also this concept in Buddhism and like the Western Eastern philosophies where it's just like there's three levels that we have to our mind. So we have like consciousness, we have consciousness, we have energy, we have matter. So we have each three of those that we can touch on at any point in time when we want to touch on that said thing. So being able to pick up on the energies or the frequencies of somebody else, we can know like, oh, okay, this person is strong, or this person has knowledge, or this person doesn't have knowledge. Even though everybody does have knowledge in their own unique way, sometimes it's just good, and why it's always useful and why I do my best to open the door to anybody that is interested in having the door open. Because once that door is open, the person has the opportunity to come inside, or they don't have the opportunity to come inside. It's really up to them on whether or not they want to come inside or they don't want to come inside. I've just always been under the impression that it's best to like give everybody the option, and then whether or not you do anything with that is up to your entire discretion. Because if you think about it this way, each day, each place, each person that we interact with is helping us get closer to the place that we want to get to. We don't and can never have all the knowledge in one specific domain because our lives are so short, because we only are here for a certain period of time. Maybe it's 80 years, maybe it's 90 years, maybe it's 70 years, maybe it's 120 years. Like, it really just depends on how long you want to be here. And over the years, from me being able to talk to all these people, I've been able to pick up on certain subtleties, certain body language, certain cues, certain information, certain ways to ask questions, to be able to draw out what they are needing to have drawn out within themselves. Which is exactly why I do one-on-one coaching, and you can always sign up for that if you are interested in doing that. Link is in the description. If not, no worries. Just want to toss it out there because you have to be reminded a lot more than you have to be taught. So with me being able to have these different conversations with all these different people, I've been able to pick up on subtleties that most other individuals wouldn't be able to pick up on. Like, I can know like, hey, okay, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to talk to this person. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like there's an urge that I need to go to this said place at this said time. And they're like, okay, like whatever. And I was like, okay, then I go there and I'm like, hey, so this person is actually like the competitor of the company that we're working for. And like, yeah, we can introduce them, like we can get to know this person, or we can talk with them, and maybe we can do some sort of business deal, and maybe we can work together, or maybe we cannot work together, or maybe we can figure out something that we didn't originally know. And they're like, how did you do that? I'm like, it's because I can pick up on the subtleties. I know how to create anything that I need to create because first it happens within my own mind. If I understand that it happens within my own mind, then I can go to the places that I need to go, and I can have the interactions and the conversations with the people that I need to have the interactions and the conversations with. So that's why like you are listening to this video, is because I know that you need to hear these things that I'm talking about right now so that you can pick up on these small little subtleties. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some effort. And one of the ways that I would highly recommend doing this is the way that I did it. One, film yourself. Or if you don't want to film yourself and look at yourself, like you can always like go out and have conversations with other people. I'll touch on that if you don't want to have conversations with other people, just because like you only ever want to just stay in your room watching anime. Nothing wrong with that, but like if you do want to go out and you do want to, because you can't analyze the conversations within the anime as well too and pick up on the body language. I just found it a lot more useful to do it with real people. So like whenever somebody would like flip their hair, I'd go home and I'd Google it. I'd be like, okay, well, what does this mean? But then there's also this other thing too, is like you have to understand the person's baseline body language to be able to pick up on certain subtleties. So it's better to know a person for at least a couple of weeks or months or whatever it may be, to be able to figure out like, okay, this is the best way that I can be of service to this said person, or this is the best thing to say to this said person. But like you can use like the overarching like way of being able to read body language, because a lot of the times it is similar compared to one person to the next. But like being able to pick up on the subtleties of like when somebody's tone changes, or when somebody's eye movement changes, or when somebody's perspective shifts from whatever it was to something new, or when they step back, or when they cross their arms. Like if that's their normal state, then obviously it doesn't mean anything. But if they rarely ever cross their arms, it's like, okay, maybe there's something to this. So being able to identify those subtleties within the person will help you level up in your sales career, in your overall career, in your way to make more money, and your way to communicate with people a lot better, by being genuinely interested in what that person's saying, by being able to analyze the body language that they have had. And like I said, the best way to do that is Google it. And if you want to go out into the world, like experience and have these conversations with people, and then at night be like, okay, well, this person looked up to the right what does that mean? Like when they look up to the right when they're talking about something, it's like, oh, okay, it's because they're remembering something. Or it's like, okay, this person took a step back when I stepped closer. It's like, okay, maybe I need to take a step back when they take a step back to make them feel more comfortable. Because it's just all about this equal footing that we have, but it's a matter of being able to identify these things in the first place. And if you can't pick up on these small little subtleties, how are you going to expect to move forward in any direction that you're wanting to move forward in? These subtleties aren't just with people. These subtleties are also within nature. So like if you're going on a nature walk, or if you're going to battle, I'm going to use a nature walk. If you're going on a nature walk, you can sense and feel the subtleties of like certain areas, certain places, certain areas that other people might not necessarily be able to pick up on. Like you might be able to tell that like, it feels a lot stronger right here. Like this energy feels good. Like I'm going to need to take a little bit slower steps. Like I've done this multiple times on hikes that I've gone on. I'm like, okay, I need to slow down. Like, I don't know why I need to slow down right now, but I need to slow down, and I need to be intentional with each and every single step. So, like, I would put my heel and just, like, slowly go onto my toes, like, very, very slow, in the slowest way that I possibly could. And then all of a sudden, I realized why that happened was because I was able to pick up on the subtleties that there's a deer just a couple steps away, and I didn't want to scare that deer. I didn't necessarily know that what was there, but I just knew that I had to take it slow for some odd reason because I picked up on the subtleties of what was around me, because there's this concept that I touched on just briefly at the beginning. Like everything is energy. So you being able to pick up on the energies, on the frequencies that are being sent to you right now is the only way that you can like physically feel these different types of vibrations and things that you're talking about. Because there's this one guy in the comments that he's like, why do your videos keep showing up on my page? I'm like, it's probably because there's some aspect that you're needing to listen to, that you're wanting to hear. You might not necessarily be aware of wanting to hear it right now, but unconsciously or subconsciously, you're wanting to hear this said thing that I have to share to you. So that's why my videos keep showing up on your page, which if you keep seeing my videos, there's probably in all likelihood something that you're needing to hear from me, or some sort of advice or insight that you need to receive from me at this said point in time, because I only go to the people that need me most, and I'm only attracted to the people that are needing me most and that are wanting to have these said experiences and experience the things that I myself have to share. That's the only way that I've been able to create the people that I've been able to create, and the way that you're able to create me, because we're all just creations of each other, and we decided to co-create one another so that we could be in a similar state and have similar ideas and have similar experiences that we didn't originally have in the first place. Which is a really fun concept if you think about it in the right ways, and being able to pick up on those subtleties of like, okay, this person is a genuine person, or this person isn't a genuine person. But that's the crazy thing too, is like that person is genuine to you and that other person would be genuine to somebody else. So it's being able to identify and have that discernment of like, okay, is this person here to help me, or is this person here to help me? Like it really just kind of depends on the perspective and the outlook that you're wanting to take on life, because some people might not resonate with you, but they will resonate with somebody else, because everybody resonates with somebody else, and having your own community, having your own way to communicate, having your own ways to like share these different ideas that you didn't originally have is one of the best ways to do it. And this is where I say, like, if you have a skill that other people don't have and you're wanting to hone that and you're wanting to strengthen that, having a trainer, having an instructor, having a friend, having a guide, having a coach, having a consultant, having a insightful outside perspective will help you level up a lot quicker than you ever would have leveled up beforehand. Because as you saw on screen, the man with the blue hair noticed one of the characters when they walked by that he's like, oh, that person's different from the rest of the person. Where the other guy, he had no idea what was happening. He's like, why'd you stop? It's like, that person's not human. It's like, oh, okay, I did not notice that. But like, that's where I say, like, some people just have different traits, different knowledge, different understanding, different vibrations, different strengths, different ideas than somebody else does have. And your ideas are the exact ideas that we need to have in this world. Your creativity is the exact creativity that we need to have in this world. By you sharing these things, by you sharing the experiences that you have, it's going to level you up. It's going to inspire other people. It's going to create a ripple effect. Just prime example, this morning, I ended up having a slight little conversation with one of the dudes at my apartment complex that was looking for a job. I was like, hey man, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm doing personal training. I'm getting my personal training certificate. I was like, hey man, that's awesome. I love that for you. That's great. We had a little talk in the hallway. Then a couple minutes later, when I come back to my apartment, there's some other people having a talk in the hallway. I'm like, prime example. There is me doing one thing and then me having that said reflected thing happen back to me in that said moment. Because like what I was talking about with energies is there's always a cause and effect to the thing that you end up doing. So the cause is here's me doing this. I'm putting this out into the world. It gets views, it gets attention, it gets you to listen, to pay attention in ways that you never would have paid attention to something like this in the first time, because you were always watching other anime content where people were like fighting and like saying, oh, this is cool, like let's slap this, let's do this, oh, this person did this other thing. It's just like, bro, that's cool and all, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, I would rather listen to something like this where it's like, oh, I'm growing, I'm evolving, I'm changing. Which is exactly why I'm sharing it right now, is because if I was somebody that would want to listen to this, then you're probably, in all likelihood, you are somebody that would also listen to this because you made it to this point in the video. So you are on the right path, you are on the right frequency, you are on the right journey, and you're able to start to pick up on the small subtleties that you might not have originally been able to pick up on. And if you want to hone this skill, if you want to hone this trait in more ways than you've ever honed it in beforehand, there's a meditation that I recommend. I've recommended it in a couple of other videos. But I'll recommend it here to you if you're just new and you're just listening to this. If you've been here for a little while, you know what I'm going to say. But if you're new, this is the meditation that I would highly recommend. So like tonight, when you meditate, or even just after this video, close your eyes. Okay, close your eyes, and then instead of you trying to control your breath, just notice the breath that is naturally happening to you right now, and see if you can identify when it changes from an inhale to an exhale, from an inhale to an exhale, from an inhale to an exhale. And if you can pick up on that subtlety of when it swaps, you're going to actually pick up on something that you've never picked up on beforehand, and maybe you'll start to feel things that you've never felt, maybe you'll experience things that you've never felt beforehand, or maybe you'll see things that you've never seen. And if you can pick up on those subtleties within your own psyche, within your own mind, within your own breathing, within your own automated autonomic nervous system, then you can start to do that same thing with others, with other people, with other interactions, with other videos, with other places. And then from there, you'll start to level up and you'll start to see things that you would never seen beforehand. And then you can pick up on these subtleties and you can start to notice, like, okay, this is when I ask, this is when I don't ask, this is when I pull back, this is when I don't pull back, this is when I push, this is when I don't push, this is when I make, this is when I don't make, this is when I rest, this is when I act. And being able to pick up on those small subtleties by just listening and waiting for them to happen, you'll start to see your life transform in ways that you never expected it to transform in, because that's what's happened for me. And I know if it's happened for me, it'll happen for you as well too.